Hey my Pisces babies, this is EJ from Taurota Tarot. I hope you guys are having a good week so far, a good end to the month. This is going to be your monthly reading, Pisces, and I have to apologize because I threw Aries up this morning and put Pisces on there. Y'all have been on my mind for 2 days straight, and it seemed like every time I tried to say something, the word Pisces was coming out of my mouth. So, I'm not going to even act like I don't get the message. I am going to do this reading today. Get this out of my system. It feels like a lot of you are struggling with some things, especially romantically. Can't remember, get the cards out on the table. So we're going to do 4 rows of 3 plus 2 cards because the way the month ends, I think the last day of the month is on a Tuesday. September 1st is this coming Sunday. This Monday is Labor Day in the United States. So we'll do 3 rows of 4 plus 2. We'll do 2 for overall energy, and I will just throw oracle cards out till they stop falling out. Guidance from the universe. Let me shuffle these one more time. Yeah, y'all are struggling with something. Let me hurry up. Quit talking and put the cards down and quit acting like I'm going to sit here and be reading without the cards. That's not happening, Pisces. All right. So I'll come back and shuffle this other set. So for your overall energy, Pisces, positive movement forward and patience. It's your overall energy. So for the first week in September, we have triumphant success, rest and rejuvenate, and the firm foundation. Second week, movement, choices, and decisions, sacrifice, in the universe. Third week, trapped in fear, mental conflict, disruption. Yeah, this is some of what I'm picking up on. And for the fourth week, let me move these up. Moving on, the waiting game, and material harvest. Okay, so let me finish shuffling these up real quick. Everything on here got a twist to it. What's going on, Pisces? What the hell? Alright. Shuffle these. Cut these. See what we got. So, alright. From the bottom of this deck, overall energy, positive movement forward. Pulls the 8 of Swords. Patience. Oh shit. Pulls the 9 of Swords. Oh Lord. Poor Pisces. I'm sorry. Y'all all up in your head. And some of you, this ain't everybody, but some of you may be dealing with the air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. We're going to hold on to that for a hot second. First week, triumphant success pulls the Death card. Rest and rejuvenate pulls the 8 of Coins. Firm foundation pulls the 3 of Cups. Second week, movement, choices, and decisions. Damn it. Pulls the walk on card, or the 5 of Coins. Sacrifice pulls the 5 of Wands. So there's a lot of change. And the universe pulls the 7 of Swords. And I said a lot of change. You got 2 5s back to back. That's definite changes in your love life for sure. Third week, trapped in fear, pulls the 4 of Swords. Mental conflict pulls the Queen of Swords. Disruption pulls the Ace of Wands. Moving on, pulls the 8 of Wands. The waiting game pulls the Empress. And material harvest pulls the King of Swords. Hold on. Patience and planning. This is the last 2 days of the month. We're pulling out here that last little energy. And spiritual strength. And so, patience and planning pulls the World. Spiritual strength pulls the Lovers. Oh for Pisces. Okay. So this is not for Aries. I know I got cross watches because I screwed up this morning. I'm sorry. This is for Pisces. For Pisces. I'm sorry. What the fuck? So your overall energy. Let's deal with that first because that's not as positive as it was looking before I laid these other two cards down. With the positive movement forward and the Eight of Swords on here, you can't move anywhere if you can't see where you're going. And if you're all up in your head with what you believe, what you think, and what you thought, and what you know, what you thought you knew, it's very hard to make any kind of movement forward. You can't make movement forward until you get open enough to see everything around you and be willing to accept and trust what's going on around you. This is your overall energy. What I said is kind of complicated. So you really are, if I had to put it another way, because you are so trapped in fear, let's do that. It's keeping you from making any positive movement forward. And so a lot of you are trying to figure out, you little fishy schools, how come we're not moving forward? It's because you're letting your beliefs block what should be coming in. And this is your overall energy. Y'all are really like, what the fuck? And this is some of what I was picking up on when I was shuffling the cards. Y'all are just struggling with this energy because you know you should be making forward progress. However, what you're manifesting is not. The back end, the bottom end of your overall energy with patience and the Nine of Swords, y'all are wearing yourselves out. You really are. Y'all are just overdoing it. You're overthinking it. It's not even just about being up at night. Being patient doesn't mean agonizing over every little detail. There's the front end of that. Details, minutia, the little fine print shit. Having patience doesn't mean that you sit and you analyze every little aspect of what's going on. Having patience means that you wait with faith and know that whatever you threw out there that you want to come back to you is going to come back to you. A lot of you are calling yourself trying to be patient, but you're up at night. You're asking everybody 50 million questions. You don't feel like you're getting any answers. You're trying to deal with a person, and this is a lot of love related. When I get to the career and professional stuff, I will let you know. But this is a lot of love related stuff here for you Pisces, so bear with me. Y'all are up at night and you aren't getting the answers. You want answers. You want to know why certain things are happening and it's not happening. You're not getting the answers, therefore you are just literally a fish out of water because y'all are just up at night trying to figure all this shit out. And that's the bottom end of your energy. And I think for some of you, you don't realize the front end is actually telling you what's keeping you up at night. You're up in your head with what you believe, what you think. And if your belief system or your value system or whatever you want to call it is not serving you anymore, get rid of it. Create a new one. Do something else. But if you believe in something and every time you come up against some situation, what you believe in keeps smacking you around, it might be time to take a look at what you're believing in. I'm just throwing that out there. Because you're probably sick of this. I'm sure you are. And you really, I think a lot of you really are trying to be patient, but you are just really overanalyzing how you feel about the situation and how it looks. I'm going to just throw that out there too because it came up, so that there it is. In the first week, with the Death card on top of the triumphant success, in order for you to have any kind of success, Pisces, and this is just going to be overall for anything, yeah, you got to be looking at the Death card. You got to make changes, big changes. This is a major card. This ain't no, day-to-day bullshit, Three of Cups type shit. No. This is major. So it means that at this point in your cycle, wherever you are, you need to start thinking about making radical changes to what you are, who you think you are, get to know who you are, who you're trying to be, so this transformation can come. I think a lot of you are kind of hiding away from the changes. You've had things that have been presented to you in the past 3, 4, 5 weeks, and y'all have been like, no. We're going to continue doing it. It's almost kind of like you got an earthy energy to this. You're just stubborn. You're going to sit down in the mud like a Taurus. You sit down in the damn mud and you just gonna sit there and you're not doing anything, except you all are emotional creatures. So when things affect you, they get you at every level, not just physically or mentally or intellectually or however you want to put it. It gets you everywhere. And so y'all are fighting this change, but it's clearly telling you, if you want this, you got to come up with some of this. And it's painful making these kinds of changes. For some of you, it may be about moving out of your city where you are now across country, or maybe not even across country, just into a different environment. For a lot of others of you, and we're going to get into this in a minute, relationship-wise, it's changing. If you've been in a relationship or a relationship for any amount of time, it's changing. And some of y'all don't like how it's changing because it's not the warm, fuzzy shit y'all like. It's not the emotional overflowing. It's getting distant. It feels like to some of you it's breaking or pulling apart. And all of this is happening, Pisces, because it's time. It's time. It's time. Like it or not, it's time. And that this is a 9-year, 2019. That means we are already naturally at the end of a cycle. Next year we'll start a new cycle. So it's time, Pisces. It's time for change. Anywhere that you can see that you can make even just a skosh a change. Changing what coffee you drink, or what perfume or cologne you wear, anything, so you can just kind of warm up to the idea of making changes and dealing with what it feels like to do something different than what you've been doing. With the Rest and Rejuvenate card and the 8 of Coins, some of y'all need to take a damn break from work too. Shit. Got vacation days. What you doing with your vacation days? I'm just saying. And some of you need to do this just to take care of yourself. Because some of you, it's kind of blowing this back too. You're not taking care of yourself. You're running around trying to do a lot of shit, but you aren't really taking care of yourself. This is coming back loud and clear. Maybe you need to take a day off or two, so you can just kind of pull back and take a look at everything that's going on. I think for a lot of you, some of the changes are overwhelming. Talk about work, especially at work. If you've got new supervisors, new people coming in, changes, new policy changes. It's stressful. It's just all stressful. And y'all are just kind of just floating around here and there, but it's unsettling to a lot of you. I can just feel that. It's unnerving. You don't like all these changes that are coming. And so maybe for some of you, while you're resting and rejuvenating, it might also be time to look for another job. I'm just going to throw that out there. As we get further into the first part of the month, the firm foundation with the 3 of Cups, talking directly to you about your relationship. There may be some extra energy, Pisces. There may be some extra energy floating around your partner. And this is maybe some of what some of you are feeling as far as your relationship is concerned. You just feel the change. Your partner may be acting a little distant. This, to me, and this has been happening a lot recently, is not coming back loud and clear like, oh, your partner cheating on you. I've said this in a couple readings, and this must be some prevalent energy. People are looking. It's the only way I can say that like that. People in relationships, they're not necessarily committing to getting out of one relationship to get into another, but the energy, and a lot of personal readings I've done, it's that energy where, you know, you can just kind of tell people are kind of looking out the window. It's almost like winter's over and springtime, and, you know, it's kind of people to see what's outside your window or their window, however that may be. That energy is there. So there may be some new people where your partner works or who he's hanging out with. He or she may have been introduced to somebody recently. So just know that energy is kind of floating around out there. That part's not going to resonate with everybody, because some others of you, as we get further into this, you'll see what's going on. Second week with the 5 of Coins on the movement, choices, and decisions. Yeah, it's just what it is. And it is what it is. Some of you may be dealing with earth signs, Pisces. You might be dealing with a Taurus, a Virgo, a Capricorn. And yeah, it might be getting ready to go floop. And this, I think, has less to do with you, Pisces. This feels like it's got more to do with whomever this person is. This is not going to resonate with everybody, like the grandmama say, eat fish, eat the bones. But for those of you that this is resonating with, and they may not actually be an earth sign, they may have a lot of earth stuff in their natal chart, but this doesn't feel like you. And kind of the energy that I would get back from movement, choices, and decisions, it's kind of like it's once removed from you. It's not you doing all of this, but for those of you that this is resonating with, your partner, and that it's following the Three of Cups, I'm not surprised. But there may be some termination energy for some of you this month, where you may begin to see the cracks in the foundation. Especially up here with the Three of Cups sitting on the firm foundation card, you may start to see the cracks. Others of you may get a full tower moment and just boom, and it's over. If you've been expecting it, then you've been expecting it. If it catches you off guard, it might be a good time to sit and think about what happened in the relationship, where it went goofball, and what part you played in it, Pisces. Everybody plays a part. Whether you like it or not, all of us have a part that we play in stuff. So if that is what's happening to you in your relationship, you may want to just call a time out for a minute and take a step back out of the dating scene. Some of you, I'm not getting that this is a big boo-hoo moment. Some of you are with this person for security, financial reasons, maybe just trying to get you out of one situation into a better place for a lot of you, which there's nothing wrong with that. That happens all the time. But when there's no love there and there's nothing there binding the relationship and making it stick, this is what happens. And it feels like whoever your partner is or was, they're the ones that have been kind of jittery and anxious and ready to get up and do something different because for whatever reason, they just weren't feeling it. They aren't feeling it for whatever. And if you can get some conversation out of this person, Pisces, to find out exactly where the breakdown is, a very small few of you might be able to stay in the relationship. I don't think so. I don't think so, though. I think the other person is just kind of done, and they just were pretty much packing it in and moving it out. With the sacrifice, the Five of Wands, it can sacrifice a lot of your time and your energy when you're not focused. And so a lot of you are going to go through this if you haven't already started going through this, where your mind is just kind of on a rampage. It's here, there, and everywhere. And if you're going through any kind of relationship, and I don't think it's a mistake that it's sitting next to the Five of Coin, if you're going through any kind of relationship shit on top of work shit, it's hard. It's hard to keep your focus. It's hard to get your focus. It's hard to keep the confusion down to a dull roar. However, sometimes you have to make sacrifices in different areas of your life. So, for example, if this relationship with this person is not suiting you and it's not doing you any good, even though you may have started the relationship and for stability purposes thought, okay, well, I can deal with it, or, whatever. The sacrifice comes now where you're going to have to give up that security to get some peace of mind. A lot on your mind. A lot. But do your best, Pisces, to try and maintain some level of focus this month, because if you lose sight of anything that's going on, it may set you back emotionally. And you are a water sign, so things do affect you differently than they do other signs. So that's just a word to the wise. And again, that's sitting underneath the rest of rejuvenate. I would definitely, if you got time this month, Pisces, and you feel like you are at a breaking point because it's just too much shit coming at you from every damn direction, take some days off. I'm just saying. With the Seven of Swords sitting on top of the universe, A lot of you, if this were reversed, it would be about people giving you advice, trying to share their knowledge with you about some of the things that you're going through. But a lot of y'all are not listening. Y'all ain't having it. Y'all are not, you looking at them like, what did you just say? I don't want to hear it. Pisces, if you're trying to grow, you come back up here to the death card, and make any kind of positive change in your life. Sometimes you have to listen to what people are saying to you, and I know y'all like, I'm changing the channel, I want to hear her preaching. But I'm telling you the truth. You want to make changes, positive change in your life. Sometimes you have to listen to the very people you really don't want to listen to. Your mama, your grandmama, your auntie, your uncle, however that's resonating. Because they're giving you some nuggets. It may not seem like it right in this moment. It may seem like they're bitching, moaning, and complaining. And, you know, just short of calling you a dum-dum for making a dum-dum decision dealing with whomever or whatever. Sometimes you just have to take the advice, again, eat the fish and leave the bones. I know it's hurtful because family sometimes can say shit in just the way it'll just cut you just enough to have you just feeling like a fool. I feel you, Pisces, but those of you that this is resonating with, y'all done had some people telling you some things and you've kind of resisted because you think you know what's going on. I would go back again and get that advice and take it to heart. People you're talking about, they got knowledge. The universe also is about knowledge. They got knowledge. They know something you don't know, Pisces, and they may be able, if your situation gets sticky, they may be able to help you get past some of that sticky shit. When we get into the third week's energy, trapped in fear with the Four Swords, same thing. Maybe it's time to sit down and start looking at why are you trapped in fear? Why are you afraid to take that promotion? Why are you afraid to leave a jackass that keeps being mean to you and you know you got somebody else that likes you better? Why? Might be time, once again, come back around on the vacation days to take a couple days and think about it. And I know that sounds excessive, but if you're trying to manifest something good in your life, particularly romantically, why wouldn't you invest the time so you can make it happen and step out of your fear so you can do what you're trying to do? And yeah, everybody gets scared, especially when you're making big changes or you're thinking about getting into big relationships or dealing with big things. Yeah, it's scary. It is. It just is. And your body responds because it's something you're not used to. So you don't know what the next step is or what the next section or part or chapter is. You just know this is a big thing and you're not used to it, and that's okay. Can't operate in fear like that, Pisces. And I know y'all get scared quick, swim away fast. I understand that. But if you're trying to make good changes, if you're trying to have a complete transformation, can't do it out of fear. You just can't. With the Queen of Swords sitting on top of mental conflict, a lot of you are conflicted about your boundaries. Coming back to relationships, and these are people that have been in whatever relationship we're talking about for a while. And the mental conflict is you feel like you need to throw up some rules and set some boundaries and lay down some laws, but you're conflicted because you don't understand why you feel like you need to do that. I know y'all like, what did she just say? And this is that energy that I talk about. You're trying to confirm something, Pisces. You feel something, and again, this part is not going to resonate with everybody, but you feel something funky is going on in your relationship. You're trying to confirm it. You're trying to put things in place because you really don't want anything to be wrong with your relationship, but you can feel something is shifting and changing, and so y'all are throwing up rules, and it's causing you conflict because you don't want to do this, but something is forcing you, pushing you, if you will, to get like, you know, you can't keep coming in the house after 10 o'clock. You know I got kids. Y'all know. And you can feel that little something there. Like I said, for some of you, it's going to be a complete break, and it won't have anything to do with you. For others of you, partners got a wandering out right now. And this could be vice versa energy. Pisces, some of this could be you, and not just your partner or your partner. Some of it could be you. But it feels like the way that I'm telling it to you, that a lot of this is coming from different places other than you, Pisces. So when you get to the Ace of Wands and the disruption, this would be the equivalent to a Tower moment. So some of you are going to have that Tower moment, and you go right back up here to movement, choices, and decisions, and the Five of Coins. For a lot of you, it's going to be a poof, poof, poof thing done. And your partner's going to be gone, and you at that point will realize this is something your partner's probably been thinking about for a long time. For others of you, this is going to be enough to shake up whatever's being hidden. The only thing I don't see on the board would be the Moon card, but there's enough in combination here to kind of tell me there's some things that are being hidden, especially with the Seven of Swords sitting on top of this universe. And we're talking about listening to people give you advice. You can also know that people are talking about you with their knowledgeable selves. I'm being sarcastic now. Just talking shit and just talking. But at any rate, all of that's putting you right here. And this is with your partner. This is not nothing to do with work. This is with your partner. And it's going to shake. For a lot of you, it's going to wake some of you up. And you're going to be like, damn, I didn't know it was this far bad. Yeah, that kind of energy. When you get to that point, it's going to be about going back to the beginning. What the hell did you get with this person for? And you may need to ask that person the same question. What did they get with you for? What was the initial attraction? And why now all of a sudden is everybody tripping it on some other shit? Because for a lot of you, I don't feel like y'all are trying to tip, creep, do nothing, but the person you are with is chomping at the bit. Chomping at the bit. And ready to jump out, looking for a reason. Again, can go a couple different ways. They walk away, and then that'll just be the end of it, period. Or it'll just shake up things enough where you know you're going to have to have that sit down and have that conversation. Get into the last week of the month, moving on in the Eight of Wands, fast communication, and a lot of you are going to do some fast talking and get the fuck on. It's just that simple. Others of you won't be leaving, the other person will be leaving. And this feels like some of you were saying things, yeah, it feels like you're standing up in your truth and kind of stretching your arms and your legs like, look at here. And for some of you, this will be the breaking point. I'm just picking them as I see them. Some of you will have the Five of Coins. Some of you will have the Ace of Wands on top of the disruption. Others of you will it'll be a real quick conversation. I told you, click. That kind of energy. Moving on. And for a lot of you, for conversing with what I said a little while ago, a lot of you have been waiting. Those in this situation, y'all have been waiting for this because it feels like you've been just as unhappy as your partner has been. But whenever the conversation has come up, talking about fast talking, quick communication, whenever the conversation has come up, your partner has turned a deaf ear like they don't know what you're talking about. So for some of you, this is definitely the Pisces energy. I know Wands is fire card, but definitely the feeling is for Pisces. Y'all had this little conversation. Pisces is doing. Bye. Deuces. Out the door. The Empress card on top of the waiting game. You're going to get to a point, Pisces, and this will probably be closer to the end. Again, it can happen at any point, but you're going to have to get back to working on your self-esteem. Because everything that I'm sitting here talking about, everything I can hear and see, it can affect you. And it can make you doubt your self-worth and what your value is. So at some point, while you're trying to clean up your aura, play the waiting game, trying to wait on somebody else, manifest someone else, manifest another situation, think about where you are. And think about how you can judge where your self-esteem is, what you'll allow. And I don't have to sit here and tell you what's good and what's not good. You know what's good. You know what a good thing is to happen to you. And you know when a piece of shit is treating you like a piece of shit. You do. So when you get to this point, you start feeling like your self-confidence is not where it should be, where your self-esteem is lower than where anybody would want it to be. Take a minute. Why are you trying to manifest something else and start looking at what's acceptable to you? And if whatever it is below national standards, whatever that's worth, then get to the root of it. Why are you accepting less than what you're worth, Pisces? No, you can't do that. So at some point during the month, and that it's in the same row with the rest of Rejuvenate, you may want to take some days, Pisces. And it's not just about sitting around the house and not doing nothing and watching TV and vegging out and binge watch whatever. When you do stuff like this is about going to the spa. If you can afford to get you a $30 or $40 massage, maybe going to hear some music or going to an art museum. It's about coming back to you and doing things that inspire you. Woo! Things that make you feel good. That helps lift your self-confidence, which in turn helps lift your self-esteem. And it's no shame in having to go back and put those building blocks back in place, because we all have to go through this. People are mean. You may love your partner to death, but let your partner say some old funky off wall shit. Your feelings are hurt. And sometimes people can hurt our feelings and not really realize the impact of what they're saying to us or what they're doing to us, and they just blow it off and thinking because they blew it off, you've blown it off too. And you sitting in the corner crying, trying to suck your thumb, because you have no complete understanding of why somebody would say such a thing to you. I hear you, Pisces, I feel you. It is in those times you need to just look at what you allow. And for those of you that are in situations you're trying to get out of them and you miss the red flags at the beginning, we come right back here while you're waiting and trying to manifest the next thing. Maybe we need to take a break and look at where we need to hone up our relationship skills. And one relationship skill, I'm going to get that out good, is knowing how to see those red flags. That's a skill. And knowing how to divert yourself out of a situation that could become a hot fucking mess. I'm just saying. So when you get to this, take some time, Pisces, and do you. Get back to you so you can build up your self-esteem and your self-worth. With the King of Swords sitting on a material harvest, this is for those of you in school, those of you getting new jobs, new promotions, lateral moves. I would say until the end of the year, really. I'd be trying to keep the peace. Some of you are getting ready to walk off into some shit and you have no idea what's going on. None. All you know is you got promoted and you got an extra $15,000 paycheck. That's all you know. There are things hidden, things you don't know, things that aren't being talked about. If I were you, Pisces, I'd keep my head down, do my job, and go home. Whatever it is. Because for a lot of you, there's a whole bunch of shit going on in the workplace. For some of you, this is school. And this has got a lot to do with groups of people, cliques of people, saying and doing things that maybe are not on the up and up. And considering the current political climate, if you're in college, you have a good understanding of what I'm saying to you and how heated things can get quickly. So, I'm going to say it to all of my Pisces. Got new business or school endeavors that you're just starting here in the last couple 3 weeks. I would keep my head down until the beginning of next year, the end of this year for sure, and learn the landscape of where you are in school, a new job, whatever. Learn the people that you have to deal with, because at some future point you're going to need to rely on the information that you can gather now. I'm just throwing it out there. I have no idea why, but evidently somebody needs to hear it. As we poke around into the last 2 days of the month, Pisces, with the World card sitting on top of patience and planning, that knowledge. When we talk about knowledge, where's my universe card? It's universe, that knowledge. Listening to other people. And like I said, knowing when to cut your losses and knowing when people are talking about you and trying to twist your shit up. Having that knowledge. Patience and planning. Same thing like I'm saying about work. Patience and planning. Some of you may find out some things and it may open an opportunity for you to become a leader of some sort at work. You got the knowledge. You got the knowledge. And again, anybody that's trying to mentor you or give you some advice, listen to it. You may not like the person delivering the message, but the message may be dead on point. I'm just saying. With the Lovers and the spiritual strength, for those of you that make decisions to stay in relationships, now, there's a whole bunch of you not going to have not one relationship problem this month. Let's clear that part up. Okay. But for those of you that are struggling with relationship problems, trying to understand the sacrifices that you're making, come on now, things that are making you lose your focus. I know for a lot of you, this is love and passion, all this red and fire. When you start dealing with your relationship at that level, you start dealing with what works for you, what you're sacrificing for, what's the meat and potatoes you're putting on the table for the relationship. That's when you get spiritual strength. And maybe for some of you, you're going through some of the changes you're going through in your relationship so you can work on your material strength or your spiritual material strength. Here I go. Spiritual strength. Maybe some of you are exactly going through a lot of this bullshit so you can work on your spiritual strength. And if that is the case, that means you've got a lot of good things coming. But there may be areas that you just need, the universe just thinks you need to work on at this point before you can get thrown into a bigger situation, if you will. A lot of storylines, a lot of relationship stuff. The biggest thing, Pisces, for this month, take it easy on yourself. Forgive yourself. You're only human. And work on things the way you think they should be worked on. Yes, you should listen to people trying to give you advice, but that doesn't mean you have to change up ideas that you've come up with, because this is a very fertile time for you, Pisces, in terms of your ideas and things that you will begin to put in place for yourself. I'm not talking about big scale company business type stuff. No, I'm talking about things for you, things that you want to start doing to make little small changes in your life. So take your time, work through the energy the way that you can, the way that you feel comfortable doing it, and just know at the end of all of this, there are good things. There are good things coming. Yeah. These are my cards. Let's see what the universe has for guidance. These are new. I'm going to keep turning the box over. I'm going to put the cards in the box. But they're new. I like them. They're good. She splits, Colette Baron-Reid, she splits the cards up. So instead of reversals or vice versa, she does ally and challenge. So the card, depending on the reading, can either resonate back as an ally, something that will work for you, or as a challenge, something that you would need to work on. So let's see what we got for Pisces. Keeper of the Scales, Gaia's Garden, the Chess Queen, and the Eagle King. Oh, it's a couple I haven't seen here. So for Keeper of the Scales, fairness and balance. I'm going with balance. That's your challenge. Trying to maintain and keep some balance, Pisces. That is truly your challenge for the month. Because if you've got all of these kind of little situations percolating and brewing, keeping your balance is not going to be the easiest thing that you'll do. But try your best. As long as you try to stay into some even energy, the less likely you are to make any kind of decisions too quickly. That's what I say. For Gaia's Garden, fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow. Why am I going to say reaping what you sow? And that'll be a challenge with this card, particularly with relationship stuff. And I'm thinking of the 5 of coins here with the movement, choices, and decisions. You can only reap what you sow, Pisces. So if you've been trying to build these relationships that you have or have had romantically with people, if you've been bullshitting around, this is the result. And that's heavy shit to think about. But I mean, what do you have to think? What are you bringing to the table? And are you keeping to what you're bringing to the table? So if you coming to the table and you're going to split the bills in half and you're going to work on remodeling projects, when you get to that point, are you paying your half of the bills? Are you putting in your input for the projects that you have if you own a home? I'm just saying. So you reap what you sow. And if you haven't been keeping up on your end of the bargain, something to think about before you jump up in your partner's face and start telling them to what for. I'm just saying. It's out there. The universe threw it out there. There it is. With the chess queen, it's trust or strategizing. I think it's a little bit of both, Pisces. I think you got to have some trust in yourself. And I think you need to do some better strategizing, if you will, with your relationships, keeping the balance. I think a lot of you are out of balance because you've been focusing a lot on a relationship or a lot on work, and one or the other has suffered. So I'm going to say it's a little bit of both. Try to work on doing things to nurture your relationship. Those of you that are staying in your relationship, try to work on things to nurture your relationship, things you can do with your partner that'll enhance your relationship. And it doesn't have to just be about sex. It can be about food. It can be about a variety of things. But think about those things when you feel like the relationship is stuck or not moving forward. With the Eagle Queen, Eagle King, the big picture, angelic help, I'm going with big picture. And that is your ally, the big picture. Being able to step back and not get so caught up in the minutia and the details of the bullshit that literally keep you prisoner, and just step back and look at the big picture. Pisces, I love you guys. I'm going to leave your reading here. I hope you guys have a good rest of the week, a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all.